I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Wednesday, December the 11th, 2013. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry arrives in Israel tonight for another round of talks with Israeli and Palestinian leaders. Kerry is set to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem tomorrow and with Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas in Ramallah either tomorrow or Friday. He is set to address with Netanyahu final status negotiations with the Palestinians, as well as the issue of Iran. Yesterday, Kerry addressed the U.S. House Foreign Affairs Committee, appealing to them not to impose new sanctions on Iran while the U.S. is trying to negotiate a final agreement with the Islamic Republic. Kerry called the present situation with Iran a very delicate diplomatic moment and that the stakes were high. He said, "We are asking you to give our negotiators and our experts the time and the space to do their jobs, and that includes asking you while we negotiate that you hold off imposing new sanctions." Kerry told the House Foreign Affairs Committee, "I am not saying never. If this doesn't work," he said, "we are coming back and asking you for more. I'm just saying not right now." Kerry's visit to the Middle East region comes amidst reports that PA President Abbas rejected the U.S. proposal to maintain an Israeli presence in the Jordan Valley for a period of approximately 10 years after the signing of a peace deal. This according to a report from Palestinian paper Al Ayam, who cited an unnamed Palestinian official who further said that the Palestinians would never accept Israeli presence in the valley. Hillel International has reacted to its chapter at Swarthmore College's rejection of its international guidelines regarding Israel. As we reported to you yesterday, the Jewish Daily Forward reported that Swarthmore College's Hillel Student Board had voted unanimously on Sunday to reject the guidelines, which prohibit Hillel chapters from hosting or partnering with groups deemed hostile towards Israel. This is the first time a Hillel center has said it would override the guidelines of the organization. Yesterday, Hillel International's president and CEO Eric Fingerhut sent a letter to Swarthmore Hillel's student communications coordinator Joshua Wolfson, telling him that the chapter's rejection of the guidelines is not acceptable. Fingerhut wrote, "I hope you will inform your colleagues on the student board of Swarthmore Hillel that Hillel International expects all campus organizations that use the Hillel name to adhere to these guidelines." Further writing, "No organization that uses the Hillel name may choose to do otherwise." He said, "Let me be very clear, anti-Zionists will not be permitted to speak using the Hillel name or under the Hillel roof under any circumstances." Hillel International's guidelines for campus Israel activities reject partnerships with groups or hosting speakers who deny Israel's right to exist as a Jewish and democratic state, delegitimize, demonize, or apply double standards to Israel, support the BDS or boycott, divestment, and sanctions efforts against Israel, or foster an atmosphere of incivility. Swarthmore on Sunday had voted to reject those guidelines, declaring themselves an open Hillel, aimed, they said, at encouraging inclusivity and open discourse. And the Jewish Daily Forward reports today that responding to Hillel International, Swarthmore Hillel student coordinator Wolfson said that the decision would remain, and also invited Fingerhut to visit Swarthmore in person to discuss the issue. Wolfson said, "We look forward to a productive and fruitful dialogue with both you and with Hillel of Greater Philadelphia," adding, "These are important and hard conversations that we are having within our community, but they are necessary." A major Dutch company announced yesterday that it would be stopping all joint cooperation and partnership with Israel's national water supplier Mekorot in protest of the Israeli company's operations in the West Bank. According to Israel Radio, a spokesperson for Vitens, the largest public water company in the Netherlands, which provides water to 5.4 million people there, said the firm had made the decision after consulting with Holland's foreign ministry. The company issued a statement saying that it would be very difficult to develop joint ventures together, considering the fact that they cannot be seen as divorced from their political context, adding, "We follow international law." Vittens had signed a cooperation agreement with Mekorot last month to develop several joint projects with the Israeli company. The European Jewish Congress presented the Prime Minister of Greece an award this week for his courageous leadership. The Brussels-based organization, which is a regional affiliate of the World Jewish Congress, presented Prime Minister Antonis Samaras the award at its annual executive meeting in Athens. Samaras was recognized following the arrest of leading members of the extreme right Golden Dawn Party in September. Golden Dawn's leader Nikolaos Mikalolaikas and two other lawmakers of the neo-Nazi party were jailed after being charged with membership of a criminal organization following an investigation into the fatal stabbing of an anti-fascist rapper, blamed on a party volunteer. EJC President Moshe Kantor said, "We commend Prime Minister Samaras on his leadership, especially his brave and courageous stand against the Golden Dawn Party, who want to use and abuse democracy for their hateful and racist agenda." Kantor added, "We ask that this experience and leadership be used as an example and a model for the rest of Europe when Greece assumes the rotating EU presidency in January." U.S. Vice President Joe Biden announced yesterday that the Obama administration would appoint a special envoy at the Department of Health and Human Services who would work as a liaison with Holocaust survivors and with the nonprofit organizations that support them. Biden made the announcement at a luncheon hosted by the American Jewish Joint Distribution Committee. The initiative follows years of conversations and efforts between the White House, members of Congress, and representatives of the Jewish Federations of North America, as well as Jewish Family and Children's Services agencies, about the plight of aging Holocaust survivors. There are approximately 120,000 Holocaust survivors living in the U.S. today, most of them over the age of 75, and most of them living alone. JFNA Board of Trustees Chair Michael Siegel welcomed the new initiative to help the aging and struggling survivors. He said, "Today our country took a major step forward toward addressing the needs of many Holocaust survivors. We look forward to working with the special envoy to raise awareness and help ensure that Holocaust survivors receive the support of programs to help them live with dignity and comfort." Two Israeli-American researchers received the Nobel Prize in Chemistry earlier this week in Stockholm. Israeli-born Professor Aryeh Warshel is a U.S. and Israeli citizen affiliated with the University of Southern California in Los Angeles, and Professor Levitt is an American-Israeli professor at the Stanford University School of Medicine, who has also held positions at the Weizmann Institute for many years. They share the prize with Professor Martin Karplus, a U.S. and Austrian citizen affiliated with the University of Strasbourg, France, and Harvard. The three scientists received the prize for their development of multi-scale models for complex chemical systems. And as some wicked winter weather is hitting much of the U.S., Israel is also dealing with some weather issues. Heavy amounts of rain have caused several areas of major flooding, and snow fell on Mount Hermon in the Golan. Northern Israel will likely see more snow over the next few days, and Jerusalem could see snowfall as well. December snowfalls are quite rare in Israel and occur only once every 5 to 7 years. Jerusalem Mayor Nir Barkat said the city was prepared for the possibility of snow, which could very well fall tomorrow into Friday, and that all the precautions had been taken. At the same time, the mayor said that he welcomed the wintry weather. He said snow in Jerusalem is a celebration for Jerusalemites and the many visitors who come to see the most beautiful city in the world painted white. He said, "We hope the snow does not disappoint, especially the children of Jerusalem, who are waiting and excited."
Something different with this book than I had done with past books, which was
Turning now to our Shalom TV programming for tonight, Wednesday, December the 11th. At 8 o'clock, author Jonathan Tropper talks about his best-selling book, One Last Thing Before I Go. And then on L'chaim at 9, Mark Golub is joined by Aaron Watson, a Yeshiva University student involved in fundraising and activism for United Hatzalah and Shaarei Tzedek Hospital. He talks about his work and commitment to those causes. Followed by another L'chaim at 9:30 with David Bernstein, the executive director of the David Project. That's tonight here on Shalom TV and shalomtv.com. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Wednesday, December the 11th, 2013. I'm Teisha Bader.